20 allegations, girl. Up to 20 allegations. At least 3 confirmed. And we know he had a mistress. He did get that girl pregnant.
At least I didn't find out about it outside of the marriage.
I know, thank God. But she states that her book is not about Austin. And I told you this, off camera as well. I told you this statement that, when she talks about writing a book and writing a book well, she talks about how, what do you do when you write a book? You put the hardest part of the book first, you tease it, and then you go forward to catch the reader. So this is just an example of, that was the hardest part of her life. And can you blame her?
No, absolutely not. Even if it wasn't, it's a book. It's a book, and it's her right,
Yeah.
He's mentioned, blah, blah. I'm sorry, not sorry. Maybe you should have thought about that before you acted out of pocket.
Should have thought about that before you cheated on me.
If you don't want to be exposed as a cheater, don't cheat.
Yep. Period.
You don't want to be exposed as a bad person, don't be a bad person. You don't want to be exposed as a people.
Yeah.
No matter how well you hide it, as long as somebody else with lips isn't out, it can come out.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, and that brings up a good point too, and we'll talk about it more as well, but I know Kayla Malik, she said this as well. She said that, they both said, her and Catherine said that they never told anyone till everything was finalized, because they knew that if they told somebody, that would be the end of everything.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about a case or potential case or evidence that you have, before anything comes. I said that I was taking pictures of the broken door. They didn't know I was screenshotting text. I don't even know if he knows that I screenshot things now, or that I have technically screenshot on his end, because unfortunately he has to deal with the broken too. I can't tell people how valuable keeping evidence is and cataloging it.
Yeah.
Writing it down, keeping a journal, keeping a note, and take it in multiple forms. I know it sounds tedious, I know it sounds exhausting, but trust me, keep those notes everywhere you can. Notes, notes app, journals, like I said, keep it, because it will come in handy. It will protect you. Even if you don't think you need it, just for your own validation.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay if you never want to talk about it, dude. If you just, if you can find yourself in a place later on in life to look at it and be like, I did that, I got away from that. That's just as valuable.
Yeah.
Now let me drop a bomb on you. Ready?
I'm gonna brace myself.
The butt dial. You remember when he butt dialed her?
Mm-hmm.
That was at, and I'm going to say this for YouTube censor purposes, an adult multiple person body party.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh no.
Correct. Now I'm going to get you with another one. Wait, let me get you with the next one. She confirms that he did bring his mistress to a family event, and that is the girl from the text that she saw. His family even confirmed it. His family was in on it.
That's vile.
Yep.
That is disgusting. His family.
Yep.
The mistress. I'm sorry. That is.
Mhm.
That is disgusting. What kind of family? You know what?
Yeah. What kind of? She says this about the girl, and I know this is equally about the guy too. But you have to ask yourself, what kind of person goes after the guy that's all about his wife that has a family channel?
I understand them not being attacked because, not every person who messes with a married person is a bad person if they do not know. Especially when they're so manipulative. Like, I'm pretty sure my ex could have easily manipulated some girl. No, you know what, he couldn't have because I was out of the same friend. There are men, not often, but there are men out there who could easily manipulate their partner. And can remove people about the thing. But in this case, that is not the case. I don't understand how anyone can be okay doing that.
Yeah.
Furthermore, I'm just so angry at the family. I'm sorry. How can you support that? I know that's your son.
For all the smack you talk, on haters who accuse your sons of, finish the lettering yourself and cheating. Look, it's correct. It's not accusation. So how do you feel? You're stupid. I'm sorry. You're stupid.
No, if they knew, then they were against them. That makes much sense. I don't understand how you can do that to your son-in-law or something. So I'm just going to talk about parents, because I'm going to assume it's the parents supporting their deadbeat son.
We know why his brother doesn't care, because his brother is a, ABU. Yeah.
That sounds way too familiar, and I hate how many people flock together like that. I mean, it's reality. How many of us have been through something like that?
Yeah, exactly. I know you'll feel this too. Like, she even states specifically that they were not having intimate sex for 1 to 2 years. But by the time things were completely confirmed in her face, she didn't want to have, relations with him, and he didn't want to have relations with her either, while she was pregnant. She says that they had intimacy, but, like, at a basic level with, no communication on either side, and they never went to therapy, they never talked about their issues. She never, she thinks about it now, and she's like, why didn't we go to couples therapy?
Not therapy, but marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Bad statistically. Yeah.
I heard somewhere that people who have to go to premarital counseling typically get divorced. Fun fact, I only found that out because I was considering going to premarital counseling right before my first wedding. And that's when I was told that. And so,
Yeah. So, like I said before, she never told anyone because she was still holding on to that chance to save their marriage, until the divorce was final. She states that, she is very spiritual. She loves God and Jesus in her own way. She's not affiliated with any religion. She's a spiritual baddie, which I support. But all the stories that he makes up about her, I mean, he's given wild accusations, girl. None of it is true. She says that denying it and keeping it in was a lot for her because all she wanted to do was be a good, stable mom. And like you said before, like you mentioned, I told you she was getting all this backlash of like, why aren't you speaking up? Why aren't you just leaving him? Why aren't you victim blame? Yeah.
And I remember you off call mentioning once that it takes the amount of time in a relationship to recover from a relationship.
Yeah. +3. Yep. Exactly.
Some things.
Hell yeah, dude. And I want to say, like, do not give this lady backlash. Stop.
When her counsel, it's like, can we agree that maybe some things she did in the earlier days were crappy? Sure. Can we agree that she was not always perfect? Sure. I wasn't always perfect in mine. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all do crappy things sometimes. But again, that goes back to the point we made in one of our previous casts where we acknowledge that you can be a good person and do bad things, and you can be a bad person who does good things.
Yeah, I still believe in that, you know.
This is one of those things. Let her heal. Let her process. Let her speak her truth.
She's still in the early stages. Yeah. You know. And oh, go ahead. Okay.
Man, this has been a lot to digest so far.
I know. Man, she talks about, like, working herself up to leave, too, and I feel like that's such a valid... Like, can y'all stop thinking that leaving is just, like, 1, 2, 3, done?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter how much support you have. I mean, I'll tell you guys, when it comes to me, I didn't have money, we were broke. He was probably more broke than I was. So,
yeah.
I have left him, I have the power to be. He was visiting me more often than not, or running back to his mom. So I could have picked him out and never went back. But the thing is once you have kids, which is why I moved so fast, once you have kids, it's all the time.
Yeah.
I'll threaten to take the kids from you. I'll threaten to take you from the kids. I'll threaten to, I was told if I found the house, they would leave the kids.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't see them until I went to court again. And, no one would believe me, no one would listen to me, a former child in need of assistance myself.
Yeah.
He explained, this is just my personal things, I would say, she didn't have this kind of experience, but they use your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses to fear-monger you into saying, and manipulate you. I had to leave her there, and I went to sleep in my life at the time of my first marriage, and I was alone. And I had multiple relatives and friends who thought about me and tried to get me to say very gently that he was hurting me. And even though there were times when I could see it, I was terrified to move.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. You can have a heroin relationship and still be afraid to move.
At this point, she still was postpartum, feeling like she was crazy and, like, not sure if she's imagining things or not,
Yeah, no. That is such a vulnerable position to be in.
Yeah, it is. So she says that her breaking point was when he had his boxing match, and she said that the whole day felt really off, from, like, the moment they woke up and everything. They had gotten into a fight because he had complained that she wasn't being supportive, because she basically was like, listen, I'm not happy, you're not happy, we need a divorce. And he was like, why are you doing this today? Why can't you wait to do this? It's not about you today. Blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, But she just kept doubling down and was like, nah, I want a divorce. I'm not happy. The next day, he got really sick before his match. And he called her into the room, and she was like, oh my god, you're, like, sick. And he was like, yeah, I'm sick. He still went on to fight. He got knocked out, and she had this, like, life-shattering moment that this is, like, a reflection of her life. Like, he keeps getting knocked out, and he keeps getting back up and doubling down. And then he just keeps getting knocked out and doubling down and doing the same, like, bad behavior. But she was like, okay, I need to let him go through this. This is like his ego death. You know, if he can take this well, like, then then he is a good person. Like, okay, everyone needs to go through their ego death. But because he was sick and he still fought, they took him to the hospital afterwards, like, immediately. He got better, and she, you know, because she just went into, like, mom mode of, like, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't die. You know.
We all do that.
Yeah. And when he got better, she had this moment where she was like, respecting him and loving him as a partner are two different things. And I can still, like, care that you're not dead and still not want to be with you.
Yeah.
So she was like, look, we're gonna, like, separate. Listen, it's not gonna be a big deal. We're gonna do it slowly. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna, you know, we can still be divorced and still be co-parents and everything. It'll be totally cool, you know. And he was like, yeah. And then, wait, and then we get into the, like, allegations with her new partner, okay, because,
Oh no, it's the new partner.
Yeah, so she says, that on her 33rd birthday, she was like, oh, this is my magic, like, birthday, because, like, as long as she can remember, she would always say that, because she just picked a number that was doubled and sounded cool. So, she goes on this retreat with her dad. She's like, I want to do this spiritual retreat in the jungle, whatever. It's gonna be super cool. She goes on it. She comes back. Austin picks her up, ill. But she was, like, on that divorce spiritually. She was like, I knew that, like, it was already over. It had been over even before I went on the retreat. Because at that point, they were already legally separated. She finally says, like, they're in the car, and she's like, I want a divorce. And he's like, okay, yeah. And she tells him again, like, she doubles down. She's like, we can, like, be a team still. We can be co-parents. We can be business partners still. Like, I still love you, and I think you're a good person, even if you're not the person for me. Like, it's gonna be fine. And he's like, yeah. So they start filing for legal divorce. And that's when he does all that crazy stuff. Yes, so yeah, she does say that she met her partner at that retreat. You know, but she's like, I'm not hiding that because at that point in my life, I know and he knows and everyone knows that I was already way divorced.
Yeah, you know, you can check out the relationship sooner than the legal proceeding. I mean, the legal proceedings do take forever too, I have to admit. Especially when it's contested. I mean, that can get contested, but when the other person that accepted it, like, you know what, I'm going to call a Catherine with the witness something that can't be eliminated, so I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. And I know I'm going to get dragged along, and I know I'm still not going to get the thing out of line, but it's going to take me a while.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to give you more headache. It's going to make things more frustrating for you. But that's the goal. That's the goal now.
Yeah, exactly. She even says too that, like, she met him going on that retreat, you know, as a newly separated person, as, like, somebody who's like, oh, who's gonna want me? I have all these kids, I have too much baggage, you know. And they started out as friends, and then they became, it's kind of cute, you know, I don't know him or anything, I don't want to say anything too soon, but I think it's kind of cute that she met him so innocently.
I mean, I'm not going to pass judgment on the person, but, you know, again, I'm sort of an unfortunate story. As a mom, I can understand not feeling yourself guarantee you, because when I did this, and it's just an easy cop-out sort of thing, I guarantee you when they thought, he would say things like, okay, you want to leave me, fine, but no one's going to want you.
Yeah.
You're alone. No one can deal with you like I can.
Yeah, yeah.
No one's going to put up with your shit like I can. You know, things like that.
Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I've seen him say before, like, oh, she's his problem now. So, yeah. She says that they've met each other's new partners, that they have a perfectly fine co-parenting relationship, for what it needs to be. You know, so I don't know what his problem is or why he's portraying it any other reason other than, like, being a meanie bobini banana fana fofini. You know? That's true. She did say a bunch of stuff about, because he had like, recorded statements of her, that he had took under, without her knowledge, of her saying certain things about them making a video, about what's happening. And she said she didn't want to do a video ever because she already knew that he couldn't tell the truth even to her. So who's he going to tell the truth to? Not the audience. But she wanted to do a joint statement together. She felt like that was appropriate enough, But he was like, no, it's going to be better. It's going to be way better if I make a statement. So she was like, I'll make a video and then I'll send it to you before I post it. You can see it. She was like, okay, I'll let him make the video, whatever. He makes the video. She looks at it. He's like, nah, this is bad for you. This is bad. She's like, this is social, like, unaliving, like, and he was like, she was like, honestly, this is a bad move for you. Like, this looks very bad for you. And so that's the statement that he fake recorded her. And saying, yeah. Which he states is her shutting him down and refusing the video and not wanting the truth to be out there. Man. And it seems like he did it on purpose to bait her. Sorry. Like, even she says that, like, I feel like he made it purposefully bad, knowing I wouldn't like it. You know?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like how, again, they will nag you. I think that's nagging. I think that's a version of nagging.
Yeah.
They will bait and nag you. No, it's dating. I'm sorry, I'm processing so much of this, like, lifetime.
No, you're fine.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain that my mom just wasn't right. So, the way he does, he's doing it to me. Yeah, it's kind of like a malicious compliance.
Yeah, for sure.
It's giving malicious compliance.
And, like, she even acknowledges that this is illegal in her state. In Los Angeles, this is illegal. The fact that he recorded her without her permission. But she's like, I just can't be caught up in the legal system dealing with him over and over and over again. Like, it's so hard to keep pressing charges.
Yeah. And that's another thing, it's legal abuse,
Yeah.
Using the legal system to continue the abuse is not, again, it's not uncommon. It's a real phenomenon. It's part of what I refrain from relying heavily on the legal system. I believe that something needs to be set in the legal system, but I'm not going to run to the courthouse every time he became offended.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's exhausting. You have to pay filing fees, you have to show up for scheduling, you have to show up for hearing, and then chances are the other person's not going to show up, maybe they're just going to play innocent, and then you have to see them again.
Yeah.
Digging all of that up again. And it's very painful, exhausting, and it can become expensive.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For sure. And then the final thing, the final statement we have from her that I want to acknowledge is she says that she did do ayahuasca in a safe environment, away from her kids, with them well taken care of by like people that she trusts and loves. I'm not gonna say go and do, illicit substances or whatever, but as long as you're being safe, I would rather you be safe.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry.
Oh, ayahuasca is like, let me text it to you.
Okay, that would be great.
Oops. My cat is here. Hi, Archie. You have a break for Archie. There. That's what it is. No, you're fine. Yeah. So she did say, because his allegation was that she was doing it with her kids present. And she wasn't doing it safely under safe guidelines. But she says that she is doing it with a safety expert who is a spiritual healer and an expert in this specific, because, this is one of those things that Native American cultures, other cultures use, for spiritual enlightenment. And then she also said that she's never doing it around her kids. Her kids are never around it. She would never expose her kids to it. She would never approve of kids doing drugs, obviously.
I think that would be fairly simple and easy to prove, truthfully.
Yeah. Yeah, she says that a lot of the allegations he says are just ways to like really pick on her and bully her and be like, oh, you're stupid and crazy, look at what you believe. It does seem that way. Like, it's like you're being so mean to be like, oh, well, you're just crazy for what you believe in. To be like you're not safe around your kids because of what you believe in. Oh my god. Yeah.
Is he a born-again Christian or something?
Yeah.
Two actual good Christians out there, by the way, guys. I love people of all religions. I just don't stand for people who use religion to manipulate people.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry, I need to clarify it, because I'm not attacking the Christians, I promise.
Yeah. I believe in the validity of all religions, even if they are stupid and poo-poo, in your opinion.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, valid, It just seems like another like she said, it just seems like another thing to be like, oh, you're crazy, you're so crazy, look at you, oh, crazy.
It's like, okay, crazy how you're, pointing at these people and those other people who tell me about it.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Your family is okay with you breaking up your family and marriage. It's such a chaotic place. It's one thing to say, you know what, it's not a part. I'm not attracted to you anymore. I'm not interested anymore. But it's valid to change your marriage.
Yeah.
And decide, hey, this isn't for me anymore. Let's focus on our children and separate, try to be happy and healthy as friends. That's perfectly valid. But when you're including your family in your marriage, and your family and friends in existence are standing by not only letting it happen, but enabling it and supporting it. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm sorry, you're being crazy. What are you saying I'm crazy for? You're being, you're being crazy, not me.
It's crazy and dysfunctional.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So, I know, that's our story today. I'm sure you want to debrief for a little bit, though, so we have some time for that. Mm. That's very fair. Yeah. No, I know I told you off camera too, but like, dang, seeing her get all emotional, like I was shedding some tears too, girl.
I'm happy you didn't show me the video. I don't think I could pass that.
Oh my god, you'd be like crying in a corner. That's how I felt, you know.
I'm happy she got through the divorce, but I hate to say it, that's, I used to think that getting through the divorce would be the be all and all.
I know.
It's not. And in fact, there's something about this, that I think it's like something we're unfortunate because because once they had a thing, depending on how the kids react to it in the past, when they turn 18, and they never have to see the other person again, whether it's because they don't talk to you or they don't, they don't talk to them. But most of the time, that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
They're having imagination parties, weddings, baby showers, if they have grandkids. All sorts of other events that the children might want the other parent to attend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something I'm already actually learning and preparing for.
Me too, girl.
It's easier. It does to a degree. Well, no. I'm sorry, guys. I can't bullshit it. It doesn't get easier.
No, you get more used to the thought. You get used to it, but it's not easier.
You learn to walk with it.
Yeah, you learn to take the pain.
And you pick up the pieces. Healing is not easy. You're never fully healed. There will always be something that's the past because it's not pristine, it's not perfect.
But it's okay because we love you all with our whole hearts in all your little bits and pieces, even if the bowl is cracked.